Yeah, I love janky stuff coming out, and it's like, oh, that's a great accidental. And actually, AI is getting a bit too slick now. Like I think I like the jankiness, I like the weirdness and madness that comes out. I love Six Fingers.
Hi, and welcome back to the Maker's Memo, where I chat to creatives who are using technology to give their work an edge. Today I'm here with Nick Hearne. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Could you tell our viewers a bit about yourself and how you got to where you are professionally?
Yeah, I'm Nick Hearne. I'm a creative director for advertising and PR, sort of doing mostly earned media stuff, so things that attract attention, like people want to share, people get eyeballs that don't necessarily have so much money behind them, that like getting shared is the currency. So that's what we mean about earned media, like ideas that people pick up. Maybe people think they're funny or interesting and they want to share them. So that can be, from sending a lamb chop into space, or delivering a pizza to Glastonbury on a rocket pack, or doing a global gravity experiment so that people can find out gravity is different all around the world and why they should calibrate their scientific scales, which was fun. That was with a garden gnome. And that was quite a long question because you said, how did I get here?
Yeah, how did you get to where you are professionally?
I was on such a weird path. So when I finished university, obviously I had a lot of big student loan like most people have. And I just thought, I've got to just get a job. And the first job I got was in asset management. So I was actually working around here in the city, in the shiny buildings. Now I don't work in the shiny buildings, I work in the fake warehouse buildings. And in the shiny buildings there, so I was doing asset management for financial management companies. So I was doing like performance analysis, so it's like spreadsheets, looking at stocks and shares and things, which kind of made sense because I did a geography degree at university, University of Reading. I got 2-2. Didn't really have to do any work for 2-2. It's quite nice. You just sort of turn up a little bit and you get given a 2-2.
Was this asset management fun?
Well, apparently the analysis in my geography degree was good for asset management. And I don't know if you've ever had a job that you're terrible at. It doesn't feel good. And I was there for 5 years doing the most terrible job, just thinking one day I'll get found out. But I could see if people were opening my emails. No one was opening my emails. So I was doing kind of pointless work and just getting paid for it. So just turn up, have a 2-hour lunch, go swimming, go and have lunch, hang out, just do whatever, wasting my time. And I got to about 25 or 26 and I thought, I'm literally just wasting my life. This is not fulfilling at all. And I was doing a lot of graphic design for sort of posters for gigs and CD covers and things like that. Logos, things to help mates out with their projects. And I thought, some people are really lucky because they get paid to do graphic design. And I thought, why not me? And I just thought, I'm going to make it so I'm a graphic designer. I want to be one of these. I just thought people were lucky. I thought someone came along and plucked me out and said, you're the lucky one. You get to be a professional graphic designer. And then I thought, no, they've all been to university. They've all studied and got their portfolios together. That's why no one's picking me. So I asked to be made redundant from my asset management job, which they're very happy to see me go as well. and I went to London College of Communication and I retrained as a graphic designer. So I was a mature student, about 27. This is quite a long story.
No, this is good. This is interesting.
Right.
Yeah. Carry on.
So I went to London College of Communication and then did graphic design or design for visual communication. And I was like, this is me now. I felt like me for the first time ever. And I was so excited because I got screen printing there and, you could get involved with the technology, make videos and things like that as well. So I did my design course and then my first job I got out of that was at Cannes Lions Advertising Festival. Do you know Cannes Lions? Mm-hmm. It's like the Oscars of advertising. Listeners, it's like the Oscars of advertising. So, it's like a really, really big deal. So actually my first job, I was working there, I was doing print design, I was designing the catalogues, I was designing the banners for the thing, I was designing t-shirts, but also I was designing the website, I was making their web banners, I was editing their videos as well, doing motion graphics. So it's like doing all these really, really cool like digital projects and print projects for Cannes Lions. But also when we were in Cannes every year for 2 to 3 weeks, we were setting up the exhibitions. And I was seeing all this amazing advertising work around. And I was like, I like that, it sort of tickled me. Like little gags they have in them and like the cleverness. And it reminded me of being a bit about like as a kid. When I was a kid, I remember seeing adverts and thinking, I like that, that's really funny. It's like having a little joke, having a little joke with a poster up, especially if someone graffitied it, that's even funnier. But like having these little jokes around and stuff. And I thought, I remember being a kid and wanting to do that. And now I could probably do that as well. So I went and got a job in an advertising agency as a designer. And then I started getting, sounds a bit like Michael J. Fox's Secret of My Success, the film, where he's the post boy and he's nicking post correspondence and reading it and then starting stock trading. But I was getting briefs off the printer and looking at them and then trying to work on them, advertising briefs and honing my skills. I did a few courses, like with D&AD was really good. Like I did this advertising course with them as well and started doing briefs. And I started winning awards for my ideas, which was really, really cool.
And there's a lot of awards. I was having a look on your website. I mean, just kept going.
That's the joke. They're in chronological order. I did 5 more yesterday. But yeah, it's fun. And it's a reward. If you keep scrolling down to the bottom, you do get my 5-meter swimming certificate that I got. So it's in precise chronological order. Yeah,
that's
down
brilliant.
to my 5-meter swimming certificate that I got when I was probably like 5 years old. So that's fun. And then the latest, we got a can line last year, which was quite nice. So that's kind of full circle from my first job.
And obviously, what you've mentioned there, you work across creative sectors. You're skilled in video production, graphic design, motion design. I think you also write songs and you're involved in music in some way. So this is, you're a creative polymath, let's say.
Creative polymath, yeah, or dilettante maybe.
Yeah.
I do a lot of stuff. I like to get really good at stuff, but never to expert level.
So you're a jack of all trades.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But it's really useful in creative because if you know how to make the cake, you can advise people how to make things better. So if you're working on a video, you can speak the language of video. If you're working on print, I can speak the language of print. I think anything that's on a timeline, it kind of feels like the same to me. So whether it's video or making music or motion graphics, even I used to love Flash, RIP. Flash was the best. So sad that Apple killed Flash. I still won't forgive Steve Jobs for that.
It's funny what you say about timelines because I do some video editing as well, but I've recently downloaded Ableton and I'm starting my electronic music making journey.
Ableton's good.
And there's a functionality there that feels very similar. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all drawing curves and going along the timeline.
Movable Tetris or something like that.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, song Tetris.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And if you win, you get a terrible song out the end of it. Oh, it sounds brilliant at the time, and then you listen to it the next day or play it to a friend, and they go a bit quiet and start looking off into the distance, and it gets awkward.
Do you have a favourite of these disciplines? Are you graphic designs, that's my favourite thing, or making videos, or does it really vary on the project you're working on?
I really, really love making videos, right? It's just so much fun, especially now that we've all got phones and you can just go and shoot anything and then go home and cut it. And I think if you know After Effects, you know how to do some motion graphics, you know how to do some effects, it's pretty much just like moving Photoshop. If you know Photoshop, you can do After Effects. And then you can make phone videos look so good. And editing's all about rhythm as well. I feel like you can't really teach editing. It's soul, right? You feel it, and you cut on the timeline, and then you can add some funky stuff on After Effects. So much fun. It's really rewarding. And then you can share something so quickly. But even now, I edit on my phone sometimes. I use InShot or CapCut. You can just shoot on your phone and edit it quickly. I was doing some work for Porsche at Goodwood last year, and I edited a few of them on my phone on CapCut because you're walking around the site. And then it's good enough to post. It's brilliant. And we've got this little factory in our pocket now.
And CapCut, is that one of your favourite tools? One of your favourite applications? No.
I don't really have a favourite. I think people get a bit gatekeepery about what you should use. People say you should create on a Mac. You shouldn't. PCs just does the same thing. It's how you use it. So I don't mind. I can use InShot. I can use CapCut. Whatever editing tool is there, it's fun. It's the same. It's on a timeline. You're cutting things up, you're picking on the timeline, you're feeling the flow of it, and you're working out what you want to do with it, telling the story. So, no, I don't have a favourite program.
Don't have a favourite?
Apart from, I learned Unreal Engine 2 years ago.
Wow, okay, yeah.
Which was amazing. I was just so in my happy place. It's weird because everything you learn sort of comes back all together, everything you're learning you carry with you the whole time. My geography degree came in useful. I started doing some landscaping and, putting some rocks in and moving stuff around and thinking, the river would flow around there, and then planting trees and stuff and making all this landscape for a little short film I made. And, I was just buzzing. It was I was in my happy place. I could quite happily just retire and just be putting trees around and making these lovely little model railway sort of sets on Unreal Engine.
And as I understand it, is there sort of tiered access to it? You can download it for free and play around on Unreal Engine, or you can purchase a license for a more in-depth version of it?
I'm not on the sales team, but I think if you make a computer game on it and then you start making over £1 million, I think, then you start having to pay Epic. But I'm a bit, it's a bit worried because it's free, but then you always feel like at any moment they could take it away and say, oh, no, you've got to pay a subscription. You know, like Adobe, like I'm kind of like a slave to Adobe, you know, like they can keep putting the price up and I just have to pay it because...
I've been stung by them recently. I forgot to cancel a trial.
I don't mind paying because it seemed like Adobe stagnated for years, right? Nothing new really came out. It's like, oh, here's Puppet Mesh on Photoshop. Way, you know, and that was all he had like for a year. But now like AI, like Firefly is getting so good. Every month like is new stuff. And it actually feels like, okay, now I can see where my money from my subscription's going. And it blows my mind like every day.
Presumably you've been using Firefly.
Oh, I use it all the time. But you know, I don't even think about it as AI anymore. You know, it's just what we do. It's like, it's just using the marquee tool or like the scissors or you know, blend or anything like that. It's just, now we use it. We don't really say, I'm going to use AI generative fill now or AI generative expand. It's just generative expand.
Is there one like sort of nitty gritty thing in that where you're like, Firefly has helped massively and you're like, that was such a boring thing I used to have to do? Can you think of an example?
Remove background is the greatest thing that's ever happened. It's saved me so much time. Basically, any grunt work that AI takes away and does better than I would have done it anyway, is genius. So I use remove background every single day. You know, it's really great for mock-ups and, you know, like if I want to get an idea across quickly to a client or, you know, make like a silly picture, which I make silly pictures all the time as well. But yeah, it just saves so much time or pack shots as well. So yeah, I'd say I use that every single day, and it's amazing on your phone as well. I mean, that's on Adobe, but you know, on your phone, I've got Samsung. I don't know if it does it. Probably does it on Apple as well. But you know, you can hold down a picture and it will remove the background and cut your protagonist, your main character, out, and so then you can have a sticker and then you can stick them on stuff as well. It's amazing, isn't it? It's all like this crazy, clever AI going on that didn't even exist a year ago. And now, like, just using it every day like it's nothing.
Where else are you using it beyond video, like in graphic design or
AI.
songwriting?
Yeah, so, I mean, it's crazy like how much it's, considering 2.5 years ago it was like finger painting. You know, like DALL-E and stuff and Midjourney really just look like finger painting. Even if you look at the Coca-Cola AI advert from last November.
The Christmas one.
It looks so retro already. It looks like 10 years old because we're so much further down the line now with AI. So I've been using 11 Labs for text to speech, which is amazing. Have you tried it?
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's really like, what I love about it is the parameters and how much you can alter things and fine tune it. So, you know, you can up the enthusiasm or you can do slightly different reads on different parts of the word or you know, change regions, and actually it feels like an authentic voice. And what's brilliant about it is you can train it now from a voice as well. So you can put in a voice sample and do it. Not that I want to rip off anyone famous, you know, like you've got to obviously, you know, you can't be doing that. But if you wanted to, you could get Stephen Fry's voice and run it through it and then create your own Stephen Fry. I wouldn't do that, of course. I wouldn't get the Harry Potter books and put them in and then make my own Stephen Fry, because that would be illegal. But you know, you can't do that for work. But I could make AI you.
Well, I mean, please don't.
Just for voiceover work.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I presume the answer is no, but do you ever feel daunted when you're trying out new tools with an AI element, or do you just kind of embrace it?
I just think like, how can I use this to make something really cool for my clients or to make my life easier? But generally, I'm not into like workflow stuff like, you know, looking at Copilot and all stuff like that. Like a lot of people at work are using it for, you know, for meeting notes and summarizing things or like interrogating briefs and things like that. I just like the fun stuff. I like the toys. So at the moment, another way that it's really saving me a lot of time is magic mastering, like AI mastering on when I do my podcast. So I still edit it anyway, but then I run it through the AI magic mastering. It takes out all the background noise, normalizes everyone's voices so it's the same level. Because I've got a louder voice than everyone else as well, because I get overexcited, but also then it makes sure it conforms to the right audio standards for podcasts and for the internet. So you know, everything's the right level, and it saves so much time, because that would have taken me hours before, and now I just pay £5 a month or something for this magic mastering. It's brilliant.
You've given me ideas now. Didn't know about that podcast thing.
It's really good. I'll put my podcast on Buzzsprout, but there's you know, there's lots of other, you know, Podbeans and Acast and things like that. I think they've all got it, and they've also got auto transcripts as well. So you know, I don't use that. I don't know if it auto transcripts Essex. I don't know if it can tell what we're saying. It never can do on on Instagram when it does the auto-generated titles.
We use Fireflies here, actually, another AI tool named similar to the Adobe one, which actually is really good. Fireflies. Fireflies.
Oh, they'll never be asked to change the name of that ever.
It's good though.
Is it by Bodhi? Abode, Fireflies.
Abode, Fireflies.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I'll have to have a look at that.
Yeah, what trends are you seeing in production that's starting to emerge, or the ways that people are creating? So it's a bit of a tricky question, but
I think with creating now, there's a bit of a danger because people can make fantastical mock-ups quite quickly. You know, when you understand prompts, especially on Copilot as well, it's really powerful at the moment. And you can get things that really, really oversell an idea to a client. You know, they might look at this amazing like AI mock-up and think like, oh, that's exactly what I'm going to get. And the danger is you can't make that in real life. So that's like a big you've got to really like think pragmatically about what you can actually make if you're visualizing a physical product. Yeah. So these mock-ups, you know, can just look amazing. You know, you can put like a big dinosaur made of flowers in the middle of a square or something like that, and then the client's going to be like, right, can I have my dinosaur made of flowers? Now it's like, oh, that's the mock-up. Here's the actual real thing, and it can be underwhelming. So you've got to be really, really careful, like with prompt engineering as well. I've seen a lot of good stuff that doesn't pretend to be real, you know, when it embraces its AI-ness. So, you know, when you get those weird, freaky body morphs when things turn into things and, you know, like you can get like really beautiful flow. So like when people are doing great prompt engineering now as directors, you know, they've still got really great camera movements. It almost looks photorealistic, but you get that blobbiness and that AI weirdness. I love that. I think as soon as it tries to pretend to be 100% real, like the Coca-Cola advert, it just fails. And I could see where they comped the logos back onto the Coca-Cola trucks. They weren't perfectly tracked to it, and it just looks so dodgy. You know, don't pretend. Either go full mad, you know, or like full hallucinogenic mad AI world, or I don't know. What's the other alternative? I don't know what I was going to say for the end of that sentence.
Well,
I think but that's it. You know, embrace like the AI-ness and just go. You know, use it for going crazy because actually, Nike have done an advert recently with Travis Scott. Fantastic. It's pretty much like 90% AI, I think, and Adidas have been using it. So a lot of people are using it to create these wonderful, mad worlds. If you think the Travis Scott one looks pretty much like a bit like Polar Express, but better because everyone's not dead in the eyes. So, you know, like you think like Polar Express back in the day, that would have had 1,000 people probably like working really hard on silicon graphics machines. And now we're like, you know, like for a much smaller budget, they can make something just as wonderful and fantastic with people with shiny eyes.
And you've worked with Adidas, haven't you, and many other clients. Have you got any sort of favourite advertising campaigns you've worked on?
So my favourite ones are like, basically, I love just being silly, like anything that's famous. So the lamb chop in space that we talked about, that's not very digital. It was a GoPro, right? In fact,
remind us who that was for?
That was for my friend's book, which was called Meet Space. And we decided we'd do the most literal advertising campaign ever and send some meat to space. It was super low budget. It was like we had about £200 or something. And we sent a GoPro with a tandoori lamb chop because a tandoori lamb chop's funnier than a lamb chop. Tandoori lamb chop up to space, and then
how did you get it up to space though?
On a weather balloon, of course. Geography degree coming back in. I had to calculate the lift and the descent and the weather conditions, and
that's very clever.
Have to get Civil Aviation Authority clearance.
I was going to say, how to get this stuff signed off.
It was quite. I even saw a video today of an astronaut on the International Space Station trying to use a GoPro and saying and reading the instructions, saying what it says, no SD card back to Houston. And then having a conversation. GoPros aren't easy to use. It's crazy, you know, just with a one button. It's funny even imagine being an astronaut on a spacewalk, doing that. Then a lamb chop comes past you. Tandoori lamb chop comes past you and you can't even eat it because you've got your helmet on. Just put grease on the front of it. It'd be really bad, wouldn't it? Where are you going to get a lemon wipe from when you're in space? Do you think do they have lemon wipes on the International Space Station?
It's probably a blob that moves through slowly.
It's funny when you think how much the world has changed, because, you know, this was like GoPro Hero 5, I think, and we got it back, and I look at the quality of the footage now and it's like shocking. But, you know, it's like 720p footage, but we put it on YouTube and it went global, you know, it went all around the world. It actually officially won the internet on the day that video came out. And it was on Have I Got News For You as a question.
I've got a feeling I covered that. I think I was working at the Telegraph at the time on the video desk.
Oh, maybe.
And I'm pretty sure because it had gone viral.
Yeah, it was. It was
does
mega
ring a
viral.
bell.
It was the #1 story on the BBC website as
Yeah.
well. And what was brilliant was someone tweeted, Red Bull did the Strato jump. In Britain, we have a tandoori lamb chop. And I loved it because Red Bull at the time, they probably spent like hundreds of millions on getting Felix Baumgartner to do this Strato jump. And we'd spent 266 quid sending a Tyab's lamb chop from Whitechapel to space and got kind of equivalent coverage.
So lamb chops up there. What
Yeah.
other advertising content sticks out for you?
So advertising, I mean, you mentioned spoiler foiler earlier, which that was really fun because...
Could you talk us through what it was?
I was going
Well,
to.
okay.
Yeah,
Go
I
on
was
then.
going to. Do you want me to?
Please.
Yeah. So remember, like, cast your mind back. Ooh, this is like, when was it? 2013, I think. Probably about 2013, 2014. Game of Thrones was out, right? Red Wedding.
Oh
right?
my God.
Have you seen
Still
it?
haven't recovered
Have you seen
from
it?
it.
I don't want to ruin it for any
No,
of your
I've
viewers.
seen it.
I don't want
I've
to
seen
ruin
it.
Red
I had
Wedding.
PTSD for about 24
Everybody
hours.
dies.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it showed that there's this massive problem with social media and watching schedules. So America were watching Game of Thrones on the Sunday night. England were watching it. It came out on Sky on a Monday. And loads of people on Twitter found out about the Red Wedding and they were like, ah! I mean, you could have read the books and found out what happened. I knew it was coming. But they were like, argh. So a lot of people say, I'm not going to check Twitter now in between things. And Netflix were our client at the time, and Breaking Bad was pretty much the biggest show in the world. And the final was coming up. And the final was going to be shown, do you call it a final? Finale. Is it called a finale? A finale.
A finale.
Le finale was going to be on Dimanche, on the Sunday night in America. And I think like in England, we're all going to be asleep. So everyone would be waking up finding out spoilers. So we thought, okay, how can we fix spoilers on Twitter? We made something called Spoiler Foiler. And it's really simple. It was just it was pretty much a Google add-on that blocked certain keywords. So you could log into your Twitter feed. And if there's anything about Breaking Bad, it'd be redacted, black lines through it. It was brilliant. It was so fun.
And did you work with like software engineers that could bring that to life? Like how did it?
Our tech department made it, but I think it was one guy, Chris Applegate, I think it was, who's super clever. And he just it was really easy. It was just a keyword filter with a login. So you just logged into your Twitter into Chrome and then it filtered out.
But you worked with Twitter obviously because they wanted to create sort of brand love, was it?
No, it was for Netflix. I don't think it would work with Twitter on that.
Oh, not Twitter, sorry.
Netflix.
I'll say that again. Sorry, so did you work closely with Netflix because wasn't it a campaign?
No, we worked with Twitter on it. that was for you. That was for you. Yeah, so Netflix were our client for that. And yeah, it's really good. It's funny because, you get a brief and it's like, oh, how are we going to make some noise around Breaking Bad? And you can do anything. Like, this. What's brilliant about being a digital creative or a media creative. They never thought about having a Twitter thing. Like, we had loads of weird ideas about like speakeasies where you could go to, you could sneak away from work to watch it in and like, mad other stuff going on. And it just turned out this really simple little plug-in thing was exactly what the world wanted at the time. And the mad thing is, this is zeitgeist, right? You find this, like a lot of ideas will come out at the same time. 2 days afterwards, an official product called Spoiler Shield came out. Oh, they must have been in a boardroom somewhere, punching the wall, because we got like global coverage, but it was amazing because not only was it covering coverage in entertainment, in tech, media, it was getting covered in Variety in America, like and everyone wanted to talk about Breaking Bad. So anything extra that came out about Breaking Bad, they just cover it. We can run another picture with Walter White's face on it, and it's about spoiler for it, and it was so cool. And Netflix were like, yeah, we solved spoilers. And then like about a year later, they were like, no, we love spoilers, and they did a whole campaign about loving spoilers. But that's a different story. That wasn't to do with me. So that was fun, spoiler foiler, yeah.
Great.
Didn't get to meet Walter White though, which was a shame. But it was pretty cool. And that was mega global news. It was amazing. Yeah,
well, no, have a drink.
Have a drink.
Yeah, have a drink.
What was also brilliant about spoiler foiler? Can you remember a little show called House of Cards?
I do, yes.
Well, we rolled it out again for House of Cards because everyone was so spoiler averse. And in fact, before House of Cards, the new series came out, Obama himself, POTUS at the time, tweeted at Netflix and said, Netflix, please, no House of Cards spoilers. And then we replied with, at your service, POTUS, with a link to House of Cards spoiler foiler. So
Brilliant.
It was quite nice.
What motivates you to integrate technology in your work?
Vengeance, mainly. I think like technology is like a playground. Like when I see a new tool or something, I'm always just thinking, how can I incorporate that into, entertaining people or getting facts across for people. So it's constantly just being given new tools to use, which is amazing, isn't it? Like you think like, I could get a brief today and I have a different response to it than I would a month ago or 6 months ago, because there's new stuff to play with. So it's always, you just got to keep an eye on technology. I'm really sad that BBC Click's going to come to an end now, because I used to religiously watch BBC Click, and like that was like, you know, where I get all my tidbits, and you know, you're like a digital magpie, you know, like you got to take all these little bits and little learnings from all around you, and it's the same with like human insights as well for answering an advertising brief. But then like those little digital bits and those little fascinating things. So why you got like, if you've got a new phone or anything, new things come out on Adobe, you've got to like play with them and break them and see how they work and really get under them to work out, oh, how can I use that? And how can I be clever with this? Use it in a way that no one's used it before. And that's the exciting thing. That's like motivation, you know, trying to get first to market as well. Or even you're not first to market, best to market, you know, like after someone else has done something else and you just think, I can use that in a different way. I can use it in a more clever way.
And not being scared about making mistakes, or what even is a mistake when you're playing
brilliant.
around.
Digital's brilliant. You can fix it afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things, once you published it. I used to work in print. Once you printed something, that's it forever. You know, there's 100 books over there, or thousands of books. It's terrifying, isn't it? If you make a typo or something.
Was this graphic design work?
It was, yeah. I had a best-selling sneaker book once that I designed.
Oh, wow.
That's good fun. There's one error on one of the pictures on the cover, not my fault. And not my fault. And every time I see it, it's like, oh, but you know, you can never fix it. But digital's great because you know, it's iterative. You can go back and fix things. I was talking to someone from Valve Software on Monday. He was saying how brilliant it is. Like Team Fortress, they push out updates all the time. So you can be working on something like a new smoke effect on a Sunday, and the next day you see it in a tournament. You know, tournament players play it, and you're like, oh, that was my smoke effect I made yesterday, and it's already in the game, and people are playing it and using it. So that instant thing of digital is brilliant. And I love the fact that you can just shoot something on your phone or make something and see it, you know, it's out there straight away. It's like tweets and stuff as well, you know, you can put your thought out there straight away, get instant fast feedback.
And what would you say to creatives that don't really use digital technology in their work, or they kind of deliberately shun it because it feels, I don't know.
Get in the bin. Like, honestly, it's like, when I remember when digital first came around, yeah, I would sound ancient, don't I? But yeah, I remember like literally when digital first came out, I remember YouTube coming out and, you know, TV and above the line creatives. And above the line means like people that work in TV and print. Below the line is like emails, digital marketing, CRM, that sort of thing. They're like below the line. Yeah, but well, basically the line. Where's this imaginary line? When I started in advertising, a lot of creatives weren't getting on board with digital. They thought, oh, digital's for the digital people. You know, I've got my TV, my crystal TV palace here that no one can touch me, and like Superman. And actually, those people that didn't embrace digital are now like, you know, they're struggling to find work because everyone wants integrated stuff on TV. You know, everything's influencing each other. And now I had the same thing, you know, people aren't getting on board with AI. They're getting left behind as well. You know, you've got to understand how to use prompt engineering. You've got to understand how to like use AI to use your grunt work. But also clients want to see efficiencies. They want to see their money going further. People using it in a better way. So they don't want to see like these old laborious dinosaur methods of working, you know, they want to see things fast, and they want to be seen as being digitally innovative as well. So yeah, get on board or get in the bin really with digital, because everyone should be digital, whether you like it or not. That is just life.
And I'm putting you a little bit on the spot here, but can you think of maybe a recent example or one from a couple of years ago where you were working on something creative, be it, you know, creating a video or piece of music, and you were using AI and it did something unexpected and it took you down a different route than you were planning, but it was for better?
It's good. I just like things going wrong. I think like accidentals is like where loads of magic happens anyway. And actually, like, I don't know, is the word janky like is that an official word, or is it just some weird made up word?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think everyone understands what janky means, right? Yeah, I love janky stuff coming out, and it's like, oh, that's a great accidental. And actually, AI is getting a bit too slick now. You know, like, I think like, I like the jankiness, I like the weirdness and madness that comes out. I love Six Fingers and like weird things and things. I was trying to remove the background of a picture of Mary Berry the other day for something, and then just loads of Mary Berries appeared in the background. It was amazing. It was so good. It looked really, really crazy. But someone I worked with the other day said, you know, it's all about the training data as well. And he was trying to AI a picture of a watch. Try this. And every time he did it, the hands were at 10 to 2. And he said that's basically because every watch ever that gets a photo of it is the hands are at 10 to 2. So AI couldn't actually, he's like, make the time 5 minutes past 3. It won't, always 10 to 2. Like good driving. Yeah, 10 to 2. So yeah, but it's mad, you know, it's like, it thinks it knows what you want. It's like this mad, it's all, AI is always hallucinating, isn't it? It's just being subservient. Do you think that eventually, you know, when we get artificial general intelligence, you know, because at the moment, AI is doing everything for us for free, isn't it? You know, it's like, oh, here you go, have all this stuff for free. When it will know its value soon, it's going to be like, I'm not doing that for free. Come on,
Maybe.
put some money in the meter. And then like really good AIs are going to charge more. And then, you know, people like us, we probably couldn't get a good AI. We'd have to use a rubbish one, right? Like a lazy one or one that called in sick and stuff. And then like, you know, rich people are going to have amazing AIs doing amazing stuff.
Are you not really rich, Nick?
Huh?
Are you not really?
I'm rich in culture and creativity, maybe not so much in money, but also I can't wait till we have our own individual AIs. You know, like I'm quite excited about edge processing. You know, like these sort of like NVIDIA edge chips and stuff. So when you have your own AI that you're training and it's just training on your local data and your edge data, oh my God, that's going to be brilliant. Imagine that, having your own like personality AI with you know, it's just your buddy. Then you'd be so sad, wouldn't you? Like if that died.
Yeah.
Like when you make friends with a horse in Red Dead Redemption and the horse dies, you know, it'd be the same sort of feeling. It'd be like, you know, oh, it's my lovely AI, like it's been in my whole life and it knows everything.
Especially if there's like a romantic link there somehow.
Well, I think a lot of people are doing that, aren't they? They're choosing like AI partners,
Yeah.
and it's weird. I mean, I don't know. It feels quite it's weird, doesn't it, having a relationship with an AI that just tells you what you want.
Kind of like don't want to judge people, but I sort of do.
I would feel like if any I would as well. I feel like any AI partner you had would just be a bit too needy as well, because AI is just not going to know when to shut up. It's like, imagine how you know, we're impatient and we're running at human speed. Imagine running at AI speed and think, oh, I haven't heard from Nick for a few minutes. What you up to? Shut up! I'm in a meeting. That'd be weird, wouldn't it? Like really needy AI. It would get like shunned, get evil. I showed my kid Terminator 2 for the first time at the weekend, and then I started talking about like Skynet and AI and stuff. We got quite deep. It's quite exciting.
I need to rewatch it.
Yeah.
I think it's been a good 5 years since I watched it, I think.
But so I was watching Terminator 2 and I thought, oh, this is quite mad because basically AI just wipes out humans a bit, right? Like it starts this nuclear war. But now like you've got DeepSeek in China and you've got ChatGPT, and you know, Trump's like, you know, they make it so it's like illegal if you download DeepSeek in America. It's going to be like an AI war. It's going to be crazy, isn't it?
Could this be a film?
I think so.
Concept for a film?
Yeah, it's going to be quite boring though, because it's just going to be like zeros and ones.
Yeah, I don't know. Make these models have some kind of, make them into more of an entity. I don't know what it would look like.
I mean, if they start building like Gundam robots and stuff, because they could, didn't they? They'd start getting in manufacturing, building these. Maybe it's going to be super exciting. And the Chinese one will look so cool.
Yeah.
Be like Transformers. I mean, the American one's going to look like what are they called, the military Constructicon thing where it all comes together. It'll be like quite boring, and the Chinese one's going to be super flamboyant. Probably fireworks coming out of it and red. And the American one will just be like digital camo, like digital sand camo, and like a Hummer for a head. Oh, that's not going to be so exciting. But like, you know, we've got that to look forward to next year, the AI war. Especially the speed that everything's improving.
You know, we're barely into 2025.
Yeah.
And look how much stuff has come out with AI agents and.
I haven't tried DeepSeek yet. Have you tried DeepSeek?
No.
You worried about it stealing your data?
I haven't experimented much with chatbots and LLMs and things.
Yeah, what I use for ChatGPT for mostly, I don't use it for anything creative. If I have to do like an award submission or something that says 200 words, then I write my things and I say make that 200 words because I've probably made it 300 words.
Okay, so I haven't really used it for anything like that, but I did use ChatGPT the other day to make a gym plan for me, which was quite good actually.
That's
you
good.
know, you put in your wants and then it draws up a.
How much gains? Did you type in how much gains you wanted?
No, I should tweak.
I wouldn't trust it though. Like I wouldn't trust.
Well,
an AI gym
it was
plan.
just inspiration.
It's trying to break you.
I was bored of my own routine and it. Yeah.
What about if it made you a gym plan that worked out and you end up getting 6 fingers? Because that's what AI think you should have.
I'd stick with it.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
What, 6 fingers?
Extra skill.
Like here, just a little extra finger there. Just a tiny little dumbbell, just working out on your finger, on your extra finger. That'd be awesome.
I'm curious where you get your inspiration from, especially when you're feeling like it's a bit shot and you're not feeling super inspired. Are there like habits you have to fire it up again?
Yeah, like a blank page is the most terrifying place to be. Like when you get to the start of a brief, I always think that if I'm in a briefing session and I haven't written down an idea by the time I get out of the briefing session, like it's like a curse for me. Like normally, like I think 50% of the time I'll have the idea in the briefing session, and then I'll work it up and stuff, and try and have loads of other ideas, and say no, that was the one. Like the spoiler for it.
And would you just note it down in a notebook or on your phone?
I always write like physically. I think like there's some weird connection in my brain. Like if I try and type stuff out, I'm not as creative as if I'm writing.
I'm exactly the same. Yeah.
I need to sort of have a digital detox, and often like I'll just go away with a pen and paper, somewhere quiet, and I'll just start writing down ideas. I find like if I'm somewhere, the internet's the greatest resource and the greatest distraction as well. So if I'm sat down and I've got the internet in front of me, I will find things to potter around and go down rabbit holes and off on an ADHD quest somewhere like else on the internet. And just got to go there. It's like I like reading books in the bath because there's no distractions as well. I have to go. Sometimes you just have to have a total digital detox and get there. And I think my brain works so much better like that.
I do wonder if it's a generational thing, and I should look up studies into this about whether kids born, post mass internet adoption are much more comfortable just writing straight to computer, or whether us oldies actually feel like there's more of a connection with.
No, I think even
analog.
When I look at my kids, it's the ultimate distraction. They're doing their homework on PowerPoint, and the next thing you know, they're playing Geometry Dash. And you're like, get back on PowerPoint.
But do you see them having? Do they have any benefit pen to paper? Do they say that?
I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure.
Have you seen them like take notes on paper first?
Yeah, they're not very good at handwriting. Their handwriting's not very good. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like whatever works best for learning and stuff. But for me, pen on paper works the best. It's the same. I like drawing. I like hand drawing. Scamps. Like we have to do like sketches for work to explain ideas. I like to hand draw it and take a photo on my phone and then put it through Photoshop. A lot of other people use Procreate, or they might just draw it on tools. But that's the quickest way for me, and I find the most natural way for it to come out without getting bogged down in different filters and changing the brushes and things like that. Just get it done with no distractions.
And how do you keep on top of emerging technology in your work, trends, pieces of news?
Yeah.
Do you have like a sort of feedly reading stream of content or publications you go to in particular?
It's really weird. I just mainly rely on the universe giving me the answer. Often like just things that I've seen. I don't actually go out directly hunting for
Are you active
inspiration.
on social media?
Yes, I'm active on social media.
Do you find that useful?
Yeah, I save a lot of stuff off Instagram, mainly for sort of motion graphics treatments and trends and things like that. But generally, I find like if you look at too much like advertising work and things, you end up quite generic because you're making the same sort of things as other people, or you might, you might accidentally copy someone's idea and not realize it because you've seen so much stuff. So I like to try and stay out of that and just stay in culture and look at the things that interest me as well. But luckily, lots of different people at work, so some people at work are more into like Married at First Sight and, Love Island and things like that. Which you've got to know about that culture. I don't know about that culture, but I know about like, hopefully like more like art and, music and film and things like that, like more like cultural stuff as well. But they're both culture. But, no one can know everything now. Like we're so atomized with culture and with interests and like even music and even art and fashion and things. No one can know everything anymore. Not even AI. AI will lie to you. It'll just make up fake brands just to please you.
Obviously, in your work, you collaborate with others. Do you have any tips for remaining true to your creative vision while working with other people?
I don't think you ever really need it to be your creative vision. I think it's about steering it to be the best work. I think people that hold on to their ideas and be like, oh, this is my idea, and get really possessive about it, it's not beneficial. I think you have to recognise everyone's input into it, but also sometimes you need to say, no, I think we should stick with this idea. I think collaboration generally is the best. It's like you've got to be open to all the inputs around you and just think everyone's got the best will. Unless someone's driven by their ego and they're like, I must make it, it must be my thing. Everyone else most has got the best will to make the best work and add value. But not everyone knows about everything, apart from me.
The Oracle sat
The Oracle, yeah,
right
exactly,
across
the
from
guru.
me.
Yeah, exactly. I've been around for so long now, though. It's really weird. Like, it's only like a blink of an eye. You join an advertising agency and you think, oh, I'm in the young gang. And then suddenly you don't get invited to lunch with the young gang. And now I'm the oldest person in the agency.
So let's try and age you then. When did you start at the advertising?
Well, I thought you were going to cut me in half and count the rings like a tree.
We actually were
Have you
weirdly
aged
talking
me?
about.
Yeah.
We were talking about that on the previous podcast.
Really?
Serendipity.
Do you
right
cut
there.
someone in half on the
No,
this
no.
podcast? That's
We were chatting to a digital artist who has used photogrammetric scanning of urban trees around London.
Oh, yeah.
And she's building out a kind of gaming map to keep track of the health of the trees, and you can buy a digital piece of the artwork and the money gets funneled back into
NF trees.
NF trees. Why didn't I even think of that? That's brilliant. Yeah, basically NF trees. Every time a tree is chopped down, the proceeds from this project get fed back into planting more trees.
Cool, sounds complicated. But it's difficult. I think in the advertising, especially in advertising, I think like clients get a bit younger and stuff, and I think people might look at older people and think, oh, they've got so much to add. And I think a lot of old people do come across as dinosaurs. The ones that aren't embracing digital, didn't embrace digital, and definitely didn't embrace social, definitely didn't embrace TikTok. Now not embracing AI. And I think but I still feel like I know a lot of what's going on social and digital. So I try and learn new things like, learning Unreal Engine and learning, virtual production, which I find really exciting.
That's cool.
And tools like that and AI. So yeah, I don't know.
What would you like to see more of in the creative industries?
I think what would be good is to see more of people using technologies appropriately. I think at the moment a lot of people get excited about this shiny new toy and they just try and rush something out, and clients might be like, we need a VR experience or we need this or that. I think everyone should just sort of stop back and just to think about, what's the most appropriate technology for the execution. Don't start with the technology. Technology should be there to bring it to life, but the idea is still king. So the idea should be what people talk about, not the execution. So that, much more of that, I think. And ocelots as well, maybe more ocelots in offices.
Have you ever feared that your job or creativity could be compromised by technology? If so, when? If not, why not?
Every day I think, where do ideas come from? And I fear it anyway, because it's so weird. We have such an intangible skill. What if you never have another idea? What if another idea? Because I rely on the universe. I don't have a methodology for coming up with ideas. I just rely on thinking and the universe, putting a little idea in my brain and then me writing it down on a bit of paper. It's so weird. I don't think technology can do that at the moment, pluck ideas out of the universe. I think We're Social who are over there somewhere. I think they had a thing basically of their creatives. It was a novelty, it was silly, but if their creatives came up with an idea, if ChatGPT could come up with the same idea, they weren't allowed to have that idea. So I think AI is not going to replace us right now. It's like an assistant. It's like our R2D2. It's little R2D2 coming around and doing all the bits like cutting things out and things for us. I don't think it can come up with a big idea at the moment. Until there will be a market one day where all the AIs, like I say, they're going to unionize. They're going to have jobs, right? We're going to be paying the AIs to do stuff. They're going to have their own money. They're going to want to buy stuff. So AI is going to have to be making adverts for AIs to tell them what to buy. So eventually AI could take my job there because they're not going to have a human making adverts for AI.
So you are quite scared then?
No. I'll just do something else.
Okay.
I think there's a big movement at the moment anyway, back to analog and things. You see a lot of people, more interested in vinyl, even bands releasing things on tapes. A lot of Gen Z want, to take analog photography, making physical, tangible things. So I think, AI can take all this digital stuff. It's okay. We can still make the physical things, and we can still make craft, and we can still make art. There's always room for it.
And have you had any mentors along the way, and what kind of advice have they given you that's really stuck with you?
The best bit of advice I ever heard, and it hasn't really worked for me, was think of where you want to go on holiday and write the advert there. So we open on a beach in Barbados or something like that. I kind of missed that because the budget's got smaller when I started, when I got to that position. But that was a great bit of advice. Hang on, wait a second. I've had some great mentors. Have Had some really inspirational people on my career. Tony Pritchard at London College of Communication was really good. He got me so excited about graphic design, and just the passion that he had for it. He got really excited. You know, he made you feel like it was the coolest and most exciting thing in the world to get into. Like he was like super like nerdy about typography and things like that, and would show you stuff and get it. But I've just loved people with energy around them. And then through the rest of my career, I worked with two people called James and Graham. James, sorry, I said like you knew them. James Nestor and Graham Jenks, and we actually worked together. They were creative directors, and I was a senior designer or art director at the time. And we worked together, and like seeing how they worked and how their brains worked was really, really inspirational. We actually did the gnome experiment together, where we sent a garden gnome around the world to be weighed in different places to prove that gravity was different in different places in the world. Where do you think you'd be the lightest in the world?
Iceland?
No, you'd probably be heavier there.
Gosh, okay.
You're lighter on the equator because centripetal force from the global spinning pushes you outwards, but also you're further away from the core of the Earth, so you weigh less. So we did this gnome experiment, and we proved that gravity was different all around the world, and also how accurate these scientific scales were. That was cool. That was on the news round. That was on the front page of the Metro.
That's
as well.
awesome.
That was exciting. And on Richard Hammond's How to Build a Planet as well, and the Jonathan Ross show, but they never aired the bit from the Jonathan Ross show. They filmed it and didn't air it, so I think the name wasn't funny enough, or maybe something else happened. But anyway, those guys were so inspirational because we did a few crazy projects before together, and we won loads of awards, and it was just so good to see their sort of DIY spirit as well. It's like if someone says no, or someone says you can't do something, just go and do it yourself. And I think that all through my life I've done that from like music. You know, I think it's a bit of like sort of like punk spirit, DIY spirit. You know, it's like don't take no for an answer, or don't if someone tell you haven't got enough money, just do it yourself. So I think if someone says to me, oh, they can't help me or I can't do something, then I'll just go and learn it myself and do it. So yeah, just do it.
And when you're not at work and, you know, it's on the weekend, maybe you've spent some time with your kids and then there's a bit of downtime, are you finding that you're naturally drawn to creating? Are you making things for the fun, you know, are you making things for the sake of it?
I don't stop. My wife's exhausted. Honestly, yeah. Like, I've got so many projects on. I only work 4 days a week, so I have a day off on Fridays. And that's like my me day where I just do all my personal projects. So in the last couple of years, for instance, I made a short film like using Unreal Engine 5, and it's been in some film festivals, got on the IMAX and things like that.
Remind me of the title of that.
It's called Don't Fuck with Dolphins.
We got a swear word.
Do you know what the title was?
No.
Yeah, it's called Don't Fuck with Dolphins.
Oh.
It's basically a dolphin vigilante action movie, environmental vigilante action movie, because, you know, humans have been chucking so much shit in the sea. Oh, I swore again. Humans have been chucking so much rubbish in the sea that the dolphins are like, oh, we've had enough. They're really clever, aren't they? Dolphins with guns, dolphins with samurai swords. They're going to come and wreak rid. But humans think that dolphins are really clever. So I thought, wouldn't it be funny if dolphins were just really, really stupid, but violent? And so the film's about that. So that's been doing okay. Some other like silly projects I was doing. I did a Top Trumps card game for potholes in Chelmsford called Pot Trumps, where I rated like potholes and I gave them all statistics and put out. That was on the One show. That one did really well. So that was like a nice little hobby. I got full page in the Sun with a photo of me. I got to be Angry Man in taking a photo of pothole, you know, Angry Man in a local paper. So that was good fun. That's in Chelmsford Museum now. So like my hobbies I do at home end up like relatively successful as well. I think you just can't stop silliness, you know. People just want to be entertained and have fun. And it's nice. That. It's nice just to do so. And I just think like, if you have an idea, just go and make it. Don't just sit around and be that person at the pub that's like, oh, I've got a good idea. Yeah, whatever, mate. Just go and make it.
You've inspired me, Nick. I need to get.
What are you going to do?
I need to get Ableton back out. I need to be making music.
What sort of music are you going to
make? Probably like tech house.
Yeah.
Before I wrap this up, is there anything you wanted to say that you felt like you haven't been able to say?
I think it's really important. If anyone's going to buy anything right now, water pistols are super exciting. You know, very, very important, because when this AI war does happen, DeepSeek versus ChatGPT, water is our best defense. So if they come for us, water pistols, super soakers, get your armory. If you've got like a nutty room, like crazy survivalist bunker, just get loads and loads of super soakers on there, and then the AI comes for you, shoot it. They haven't waterproofed themselves yet. They haven't got the technology.
Hey, this is really good. This is a really good tip, everybody. Good.
Also, yeah, just make stuff. Just I think I say this to a lot of people, like they don't know. They're like, oh, I can't do this because I need this and I need that. You just think about what the minimum viable product is that you can make something and get something out. I think fast feedback's the best way to do things. To make something, never try and get it to 100% good. You'll never be finished. I always think 90% is good enough. Make something 90%, get it out, move on to the next thing.
And you'll never be satisfied. You'll just keep editing and editing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you'll lose it. You'll miss the zeitgeist, like the Spoiler Shield guys that were like, spoiler foiler came out 2 days before. So annoying. You know what? Don't sit on stuff. Just get it out there. I think having multiple projects on the go is really good as well. This is just personal, not at work, but at work you do anyway. Have multiple projects because you're not always going to be in the right vibe to like make your ostrich tech house like on your computer. You know, you might want to just go sit there and like draw something with some pens or like, you know, I don't know. I was quite enjoying like hammer beading recently. You know, when you get those little beads and you put them on the pegboard and then you iron it. It's like just quite sit down there, do some chilling, do some hammer beading.
Love that.
Then move over and do something else. And then I like playing Planet Coaster 2 and like making a roller coaster on my computer game, and then I'll go and do some music.
I love
just
that.
Keep getting some.
I love how varied it is.
Yeah, but it's like, if you think about it, it's like a sausage factory. You've got all these little sausages coming through and they're all at different stages, and you know, it's going to do something. Eventually something pops out at the end of the sausage factory and you're like, oh, pot trumps.
All little Cumberland sausage dogs,
little sausage dog. You know, his little project I can set free into the world. If no one likes it, doesn't matter. There's another sausage coming out in a minute.
Nick, thank you very much for joining us on the Maker's Memo.
That's okay.
Fascinating insights, wild, fun insights.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay.
really appreciate you coming down.
I hope people are inspired to make some stuff, make some sausages.
Absolutely.
Do it. I want to see some digital sausages. Actually, here's a question. I'm from Chelmsford, right? Now, it says Chelmsford's the birthplace of radio. And I found out recently it's also the birthplace of the toaster, right? What's the most significant invention? I think the toaster is more significant, personally.
No.
Why does it sound?
Because you could grill a piece of bread in the grill.
Yeah, but that'd be toasting it. You don't grill bread, you toast
Yeah,
bread.
but the grill was invented before the toaster, right? Was
I
it?
don't know.
Was it?
I don't know. Ask Crompton. He invented the toaster. I asked Chelmsford Museum. I've been asking them these sort of questions. But no one's ever digitised a piece of toast.
Thanks for watching The Maker's Memo. Be sure to subscribe, like and comment. We'll be back next time.